Child is blessed. He could be talking, walking, playing football, everything. Who is y'all to tell me what he diagnosed with and what he look like, what he sound like? Y'all don't know nothing about God, and y'all don't know nothing about nothing. If you talking to me like that. So I rebuke everything y'all saying about my child.
Baby, that baby will not be able to play well with other kids normally. That baby will not be able to go outside and ever play by itself without being supervised.
It was supposed to be a moment of peace, a church event, a performance, a fresh start, but the second Chrisean Rock walked in with her nearly 2-year-old son in her arms, everything changed. No one cared about the song she was debuting. All eyes were locked on the child, silent, still, and unnervingly unresponsive. In that quiet room filled with music and prayer, something didn't sit right. The toddler didn't smile, didn't look around, didn't react to the crowd, the lights, or even the sound of his mother's voice. And the internet noticed. The clip went viral within hours, not because of what Chrisean said, but because of what she didn't the way the baby stared blankly into space, the way he slumped in her arms. He looked disconnected from everything happening around him, as if the world was moving without him. For some, it was heartbreaking. For others, it was infuriating. Comments flooded in. Questions, concerns, and blunt accusations. People started asking why her son, who was almost 2, didn't show even the most basic signs of developmental awareness. Why didn't he point, babble, or show curiosity like other toddlers? And just like that, the floodgates opened. Everyone suddenly had an opinion. Some said he looked like he needed help. Others blamed Chrisean, calling her careless, immature, and delusional. But one thing was clear: this was no longer about music or drama. This was about a baby. A child that many believed had been hidden from the internet not to protect him, but to hide a truth too painful to admit. And as the video continued to spread, more and more people began to say the same chilling thing. Something's wrong, and she's pretending it isn't. The internet quickly became a medical forum. Doctors and viewers alike dissected every clip: his blank stares, lack of movement, unresponsiveness. Then came the viral moment. A pediatrician on X confirmed what many feared. Chrisean's son showed clear signs of developmental delay and might never speak without serious help. The clip exploded. People dug through her old videos. At 8 months, he didn't reach for food. No eye tracking. No reaction. He's there, but it's like he's not really there, one user said. Speculation grew. Fetal alcohol syndrome, genetic disorders, vision issues. Some noted his white pupil reflections. Others pointed to his piercing cry, calling it a sign of deeper distress. But what shook people most wasn't just the symptoms, it was the silence from those around him. And that's when the question shifted. Was this really ignorance or denial? The backlash was immediate, and so was Chrisean's response. But instead of addressing the concerns head-on, she fired back with fury. "Y'all don't know my baby?" She snapped in a live stream. "Stop diagnosing him through your phone screen." She dismissed the comments as hate, said people were reaching, claimed that Junior was healthy and developing just fine. According to her, she had already taken him to a doctor and there was nothing wrong. But if that were true, people wondered, why not prove it? Chrisean has never been shy about sharing her life. From hospital visits to face tattoos to live streaming her own childbirth.
Hold him back.
No holding back. Do not hold that poop back because it's not poopy.
God got you. He made you for
baby
this.
nurses, okay? They're just setting up the warmer and stuff for when the baby comes.
Okay.
So if you push hard, you're gonna do that. Even
Your
with
baby's
that.
low.
She's documented almost every chaotic moment of her journey. So if she really had a clean bill of health for her son, why not post it? Why not show the visit? A photo? A clip? Something? Instead, there was silence. No receipts, no reassurance, just more pushback. As more people raised the issue, Chrisean doubled down. She called them haters, trolls, liars. She told them they were jealous, that they were trying to tear down a black woman doing her best. She said, "Just because the picture wasn't cute doesn't mean something's wrong with him."
I could diagnose my baby on the internet. My baby is healthy. They would have told me if he had syndrome. That shit. He's healthy, bro. Just because that picture wasn't that cute doesn't mean I could diagnose my baby on the internet. That shit is wild.
But viewers weren't buying it anymore. They weren't commenting on his looks, they were begging for someone to step in. The internet watched her child cry with no tone, no variation, watched him sit motionless during a church service, watched him ignore spoons, food, toys, and cameras. They weren't attacking, they were worried. And yet, Chrisean refused to acknowledge even the possibility that her son needed help. Every comment was met with defensiveness. Every concern brushed off as hate. And as the denial got louder, something even more dangerous started to happen. The truth began slipping through the cracks. Because in trying to protect her image, Chrisean may have done the very thing people feared most. She stopped protecting her son. It wasn't just strangers online who were speaking up. Suddenly, someone close to the situation, painfully close, stepped forward with raw honesty. Blueface's mother, Carlissa Saffold. And what she said shattered whatever illusions were left. She didn't sugarcoat it. She didn't protect anyone's feelings. She looked into the camera and said what millions had been thinking. That baby ain't okay. Carlissa has never been quiet, especially when it comes to Chrisean. The two have had a toxic public feud for years, but this time was different. There was no venom, no petty shots, just heartbreak. She described seeing her grandson in person for the first time and feeling crushed. "I didn't know if he was looking at me, you, or the air," she admitted, holding back tears. It hurt. It genuinely hurt. And it wasn't just about what she saw, it was about what could have been avoided. According to Carlissa, the child didn't have to suffer like this. He didn't have to fall behind. She blamed Chrisean for delaying his hernia surgery until it got worse. She criticized both parents, especially Blueface, for being too caught up in their drama to realize the child was slipping through the cracks. But in her eyes, the responsibility fell harder on Chrisean, who had been warned, supported, and still chose to ignore the signs. And when Carlissa spoke with that level of emotion, people listened. This wasn't a stranger trolling for clout, this was a grandmother who had seen too much dysfunction and not enough love. Her voice cracked as she described the moment she realized her grandson needed more than just attention. He needed help, real help, medical help, developmental help, emotional help. But instead of getting that, all he got was Instagram. In that one moment, Carlissa may have said more than Chrisean ever had, because behind the feud, behind the drama, behind the messy public history, was a truth no one could deny anymore. That little boy didn't ask to be born into this chaos, and he was suffering because of it. The deeper people dug, the more disturbing it became. This wasn't about a single clip or one-off day. It was a pattern, stretching back months. Viewers began re-watching old videos of Junior, and what they found painted a sobering picture. At 8 months old, he didn't react to food. His hands didn't reach, his eyes didn't follow. In one feeding video, the spoon came inches from his mouth before he even noticed it. He didn't try to grab it, didn't lean in, just sat there. That's when the comments changed from concerned to alarmed. What 8-month-old doesn't try to grab food, someone asked. Where's the curiosity? Babies that age are supposed to lift their heads, track movement, smile, babble. Junior didn't do any of it. Not on camera, not on live streams, not once. And people noticed. Some began posting checklists for developmental milestones. Others started tagging pediatricians and specialists. It wasn't just random noise anymore. This was a community diagnosis in real time. And the signs kept adding up. The way he slumped in her arms without any posture. The way he stared off without blinking. The way he didn't respond to voices or music or flashing lights. One viewer noted, "He has no social engagement, no expressions, no interaction. This isn't hate. This is a cry for help." Even worse, Blueface went on record accusing Chrisean of delaying their son's hernia surgery for weeks. She allegedly had other things to do, he claimed. When she finally took him in, she posted a clip saying how fast he was recovering, almost like it was damage control. But the truth was already out. The milestones weren't being met. And the internet was watching everything. By the time Chrisean posted a video of him trying to walk at almost a year old, hoping to shut down the backlash, the response wasn't what she expected. Instead of praise, the comments flooded with heartbreak. Because the video didn't prove anything, except that everyone had been right all along. It was supposed to be just another live stream. Another day, another headline. Chrisean was getting yet another tattoo of Blueface, this time his face permanently inked onto hers. The internet was already rolling its eyes, but then something unexpected happened. In the background, her son started crying, but it wasn't a normal cry. It wasn't the tired whimper of a cranky toddler or the hungry fuss of a baby needing attention. It was sharp, high-pitched, animalistic. One commenter described it as a screech.
So I'm like, see, look, I can't even talk about him. Let's see.
Like a wounded cat, another said it didn't even sound human. Viewers froze. The tone of the live stream shifted in an instant. All eyes and ears locked onto the noise coming from just out of frame. That one sound triggered a wave of concern stronger than anything before. People clipped the audio, reposted it, slowed it down. Some reached out to specialists asking if it was normal. Others compared it to clinical videos of infants with neurological disorders. Some even said it sounded like a cry caused by pain, not just physical but something deeper. And Chrisean? She didn't flinch. She kept the stream going, kept smiling, kept talking about the tattoo like nothing was wrong. That, more than anything, made people furious. How can she sit there, branding herself for a man who doesn't even claim her, while her child is literally crying out for help? One person commented. Another wrote, "This baby doesn't need a live stream. He needs a doctor." It was the moment everything clicked for many viewers. This wasn't just about denial, this was about distraction, about prioritizing image over reality, about proving loyalty to Blueface while completely missing what was happening behind her. And while her tattoo made headlines, that cry haunted people, because once you heard it, you couldn't unhear it. At first, people gave her grace, young, overwhelmed, maybe unaware, but after that live stream, the tone changed. Sympathy turned to outrage. The partying while pregnant, the smoking.
It's not going on.
Am I seeing this
Who
correctly?
boosted your head up and made you think that you made $10 million?
The mocking of concern, it all resurfaced. And suddenly, this wasn't about a struggling mom. It was about someone who had chances to do right and didn't. Even her ex-best friend spoke out, saying Chrisean was deep in denial. And people agreed.
Convince her to help Junior. I did. My cousin is a specialist. I did the best I could. My cousin works with autistic children. She works one-on-one with all kinds of children. It don't matter if you're autistic, if you're not, if you're regular children. We offered the help as much as we can.
This wasn't new. It had been ignored for too long. The idea that Junior's delays may be tied to preventable harm hit hard. What could have been avoided now felt unforgivable. Some said she never wanted the child, just a link to Blueface. And now, her son was paying for their chaos. People weren't concerned anymore. They were furious. And they'd run out of patience. Eventually, the backlash became impossible to ignore. For the first time in months, Chrisean went quiet. No more posts of her son, no live streams, just silence. At first, people thought it was a break, but as weeks passed, it became clear she was pulling him out of the spotlight. And for a moment, it felt like the right thing. Even critics agreed. Junior didn't need cameras, he needed care, but that calm didn't last. When Chrisean reappeared at a church event, holding her son, people noticed the same heartbreaking signs. No engagement, no energy, no change.
I have notes in my phone. Who got my phone?
You have what? Notes. What kind of notes do you have?
The word.
And why's your tooth in?
Oh, it's a special day.
Oh, it's a special day. Would I allow you space and time? I think Pastor Tim took care of it.
It wasn't hate, it was heartbreak. Because at almost 2 years old, he still wasn't reacting, still wasn't present. He was just there. And people were left wondering, when will it stop being ignored? At some point, denial becomes a choice, and for many watching, that's exactly what Chrisean has done, choosing to ignore the signs, defend herself, and deflect the truth. But in doing so, she's left her son unprotected. This isn't about trolls or clout anymore. It's about a child who didn't ask to be part of the chaos and clearly needs help. Real, professional help. People aren't demanding proof or posts, they're begging for action, because behind every excuse is a child still struggling, and no amount of live streams or lyrics can hide that anymore. The world isn't asking if she loves him, they're asking when she'll finally show it.